So in this episode, we're going to review Prop Cycle. It's an arcade-only game released by Namco in 1996, and it's a very special game that I remember made a huge impression on me back in the days. I remember discovering this game for the first time at a local arcades venue called Playboy, which was like right next to my kickboxing school. But the venue only allowed entrance to adults, so I couldn't really get in, and so like every time before or after my kickboxing classes, I would just go and stare through the glass window, of the venue, watching the screens of the arcade machines. And I remember Prop Cycle was like the closest one, and I could really see what was going on there. And so like I remember I was really impressed, with the 3D graphics, and the game design. I thought the Prop Cycle world seemed really magical, it was unlike anything I had ever seen before. I don't think I had ever seen a game with flying mechanics, as they are done in this game up until that point, and on top of that, piloting a flying bicycle, popping these red hot air balloons, the idea was crazy, and I really thought it was something really different and fresh. The game has a very elaborate story if you look into it online, but the summary is that you play as a young boy who flies the Prop Cycle through 3 testing locations in order to prove yourself that you can fly to Solitar, which is a city consisting of 3 floating islands in the sky. And so you have to bring Solitar back to the ground, saving it from permanently floating away. So the Prop Cycle machine is actually a very interesting one. There is a bike that you have to sit on, very much like the cycling machine in a gym. And you have to push the pedals, to accelerate the aircraft that the character in the game is piloting. Additionally, you push, pull or turn the wheel to change the direction. And this was done in order to simulate the experience of flying the Prop Cycle and to maximize the immersion of the player. And so like I thought the whole package was a very original idea. Now, more details about the gameplay. The balloons that you pop have numbers that represent points which you need to score enough of in order to beat each of the 3 levels. There's also a time limit, and there are some balloons that you can pop that extend your time like for a few seconds. The game allows you to freely explore the levels and take different routes, something that I really like, The objective is not to pop every single balloon, you just need to score high enough. And the key here is to tone down your completionist syndrome, and just enjoy the ride. Now, if you beat all 3 levels, you get to play the 4th and final level, which is Solitar. So like here you have only 1 attempt, but there's enough time, to beat the level, so you shouldn't have any problem, And so like once you beat the level, the city of Solitar is restored and is placed back to the ground. So the first time I played Prop Cycle was in 1997, back when Mortal Kombat 4 was released in the arcades. And that venue, Playboy, was the only place that had the Mortal Kombat 4 arcade machine, And I'm a Mortal Kombat fanatic, and so like I couldn't restrain myself any longer. I just had to breach the facilities, And so I somehow convinced my mom, to convince the manager of the venue to let me and my brother in for like half an hour so I could play Mortal Kombat 4. But that also granted me access to finally play Prop Cycle, a game that I was watching through the window for so long, And I gotta say, like, the controls felt really difficult and unusual, It definitely takes some time to get used to it, It's very physical, and I didn't expect it to be so challenging. And I don't think I even got past the first level, But still, I left very impressed and happy that I finally got to try this game. Unfortunately, Prop Cycle was never ported to any of the home consoles of the time, which I think is a shame. I think they could have definitely made a PS1 or an N64 version with some extra levels and additional content, and that would have helped popularize the game, and establish it as a classic title, because let's face it, not many people know about it, and at the moment it has like a cult status, Personally, I would love, if they would release it on the PS4, for the PlayStation Network, but unfortunately, I don't think that will ever happen. And so I hadn't played Prop Cycle ever since 1997, because by the time I turned 18, that arcade place, Playboy, was closed down, But recently, I found this game at the Heart of Gaming arcade joint here in London, I went there last year for my birthday, and I couldn't believe my eyes, it was right there, and it was like time had stopped, you know, and all the memories were flashing before my eyes, you know. It was surreal. And the best part is that Heart of Gaming is a free-play arcade place, you know, so no coin is needed, you know, and I could finally like properly play, you know, Prop Cycle without being stressed about money, you know. I didn't manage to beat it though, you know, but I still enjoyed, you know, playing it, you know, extensively this time. And I went there another time, you know, recently and played it again, you know, and it was fantastic. I also have the game emulated on the RetroArch, you know, but unfortunately it's without sound and I can't figure out why, you know. I tried to look into it online, but nobody seems to have an answer, you know. So if any of you have any idea how to fix it, I would really appreciate, you know, if you would let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, I really love this game, you know. To me, it's like the ultimate nostalgia trip. This game came out during the most revolutionary period in the video game history, you know, when originality was at its prime, you know, and the 3D technology was allowing all these crazy gameplay ideas to be materialized. I haven't really seen any game like Prop Cycle all these years. Only recently I found out about this game that came out in the arcades called Sky Riders, which pretty much copies the exact formula of Prop Cycle. Personally, I would love to play it, you know. From what I've seen, it looks great, you know, with new graphics and everything. And I think it would be really cool, you know, if this game was released on the home consoles this time. But anyway, this was my review on Prop Cycle. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out my other vids, and until next time.